Good morning Year 9 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter. Can you find a half of 76 for me? Then can you tell me what do the angles around a point add up to? Can you add together a half and 3/4? And can you find 4 squared for me? Pause the video and have a go at these questions in your light blue books now, please. Okay, so to find a half of 76, I just want to do 76 divided by 2. The number of 2's in 7 is 3, remainder 1. The number of 2's in 16 is 8. Ryan, can you tell me what do the angles around a point add up to? 360 degrees, exactly. Think of if you were spinning all the way round, you would have to spin 360 degrees. My next question, I was adding together a half and 3/4. If I want to add together fractions, Josh, what do I need to do? I need to make the denominators the same. Brilliant. So the denominator here is 4. I'm going to make the denominator of a half 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Do the same to the top. That gives me 2 on the top. 3 on the top of here gives me 5 over 4, or you could have written it as a mixed number. I didn't specify. 1 and 1/4. I will accept both. Owen, what does 4 squared mean? Exactly, the little 2 means we need to do 4 multiplied by 4, which is what, Lilia? 16. Amazing. Right, let's head into today's lesson. So if 2 squared meant 2 times 2, which is 4. That was our square numbers. Then we looked at cube numbers. We said 2 cubed meant 2 times 2 times 2, which gave us 8. What do you think 2 to the 4 means, Charlotte? Follow the logic, exactly. 2 to the 4 just means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which gives me 16. So Dylan, what do you think 2 to the 5 means? Exactly, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times, which gives me 32. Okay, Year 9, in your dark blue books or on a neat piece of paper, can you write the title Terminology? Underneath, can you write a big letter 3 and a little letter 5? And we're going to label up the terminology. The big 3, or the big number, this part is called the what? Can anyone tell me? Ryan, do you know what that might be called? That's called the base, exactly. The big number we call the base, and the little number at the top we call that the power. So we would say this number is 3 to the power 5. If I wanted to write that out, I would write that as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I could work that out. 3 times 3 would give me 9. 9 times 3 would give me 27. 27 times 3 would give me 81. And 81 times 3 would then give me 243. And this is called evaluating the power, when we work out what 3 to the 5 actually means. In your dark blue books, can you copy out this terminology? So the base, label it up as base, label this up as the power, and write we say this is 3 to the power 5 and the evaluation that I've written at the bottom. Pause the video and write that out now for me, please. Okay, I'm going to go through some more examples. So the power, this little number, indicates the number of times the base number has to be multiplied. So Rowan, how many times do I need to multiply 5 for 5 to the power 4? Exactly, I need to do 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, so 5 is multiplied 4 times. And if I evaluate that, 5 times 5 gives me 25, times 5 gives me 125, times 5 gives me 625. If I had 5 to the 7, I'd need to write 5 7 times, and that would give me 78,125. We call this version, with the base and the power, the index form, and we call this the evaluation, or working it out. Okay, Year 9, in your light blue books, can you now have a go at these 10 questions? Pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and work these out for me. For example, if I had 4 to the power 3, that would be 4 times 4 times 4, which would give me 64. Pause the video and complete these questions now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Notice when I had 2 to the power 1, that just meant 2 on its own. Same for 3 to the power 1. Okay, Year 9, some slightly trickier examples. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work these out for me now, please, evaluating them. So write them out as your 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and work out what that number might be. Pause the video and have a go at those now, please. Right, let's look at some answers. So 2 to the power 6 is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, 16, 32 is 64. We're multiplying by 2 each time. 4 to the power 3 gave me 4, 16, 64. We're multiplying by 4 each time. 3 to the power 4 was 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which would give me 81. Multiplying by 3 each time, and 10 to the power 5 works in exactly the same way. We would get 100,000. So we said this was the index form. What did we say the big number was called, Lilia? Can you remember? Begins with a B. The big number is called the base, indeed. And Josh, what do we call the little number at the top? The power, exactly. And we call this index form. For example, I'm going to go through an example and then you're going to do an example in your dark blue books or on your neat piece of paper. I've been asked to convert 6 times 6 times 6 to index form, so I need to make it look like the big number at the top. I know my base is going to be 6 and my power is just the number of times I've multiplied 6, which I've done 1, 2, 3 times. So my power is going to be 3. So writing it in index form gives me 6 to the power 3. Over to you, Year 9. In your dark blue books or on your neat piece of paper, can you convert 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 to index form for me? Pause the video and work that out now, please. Right, so this time my base is going to be 7 and my power is 4. Right, Year 9, mini whiteboards or light blue books. Can you express this in index form for me? 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, our base is going to be 4 and our index this time, our power is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 to the power 4. How about now? This time our base is 10. We're multiplying it 4 times. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is 4. So how about now? Sophie, what do you reckon? Cool, this time our base is just A. We've just used a letter instead of a number. But our base is still this letter here. And I'm doing it 4 times, so it's A to the power 4. Okay, Year 9, light blue books, pause the video for 5 minutes or so and have a go at these. Can you write these in index form? So in the form where we had a base and a number. For example, 3 to the power 5. Pause the video and have a go at those questions now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Well done if you had a go at the red questions. Really good work. Okay, year 9, I'm going to go through an example and then you're going to do an example. So pens down, eyes on me. I've been asked to write 27 as a power of 3. This means I want to write it in the form 3 to the power of something. And I want to work out what that something might be. If I had 3 to the power 2, that would be 3 times 3, which would give me 9. That's not big enough. Can't be 3 to the power 2. What if it was 3 to the power 3? That would give me 3 times 3 times 3, which would give me 27. So that would work. So my answer is 3 to the power 3. Over to you, year 9. In your dark blue books or on your neat piece of paper, write 8 as a power of 2 for me. Pause the video and answer that now, please. Right, we want to write it with our base as 2 and some kind of power. 2 times 2 times 2 would give me 8, so 8 is just 2 to the power 3. Let's have a look at a trickier example. I've been asked to write 4 to the power 3 as a power of 2. This time, the first thing I'm going to do is work out what 4 to the power 3 is. What does 4 to the power 3 mean, Sophie? 4 to the power 3 means 4 times 4 times 4. Now 4 times 4 would give me 16. And 16 times 4 would give me 64. So the question is actually asking me to write 64 as 2 to the power of something. Now what could that be? Let's have a think. Let's have a start. Let's start with 5 lots of 2. What would 2 to the power of 5 be? Let's work it out. 2 times 2 would give me 4, times 2 would give me 8, times 2 would give me 16, times 2 would give me 32. That's not big enough. How about 2 to the power of 6? Would that work? That would give me 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which would give me 64. So that would work. So my answer is 2 to the power of 6. Over to you, year 9. In your dark blue books or on your neat sheet of paper, can you have a go at this question for me? Can you write 8 squared as a power of 4? Remember to split it into 2 steps. Work out what 8 squared is first, and then write it as a power of 4. Pause the video for 5 minutes and work that out now, please. Okay, so my step 1 was to work out what 8 squared is. 8 squared is just 8 times 8, which gives me 64. I've now been asked, what's 64 as 4 to the power of something? And I want to work out what that something might be. Let's start small. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which would give me 16. That's not big enough. How about 4 cubes? That's 4 times 4 times 4, which would give me 64. So my answer is 4 to the power of 3. Out of interest, Sophie, what's 4 to the power of 1? It's just 4. 4 on its own. Okay, year 9, in your light blue books, pause the video for about 10 minutes and have a go at these questions for me in exactly the same way. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. Well done if you got number 8. That was really tricky. And finally, Year 9, please pause the video for about 10 minutes and have a go at these. I need you to write the powers of 2 from 2 to 1 to 2 to 10. So 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. The powers of 10 from 10 to 1 to 10 to 6. Fill in the blanks, so write the power that you need for 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Evaluate just means work out what 3 to the 4 is. So work out what 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is what? And finally, can you fill in the powers for me on these ones? Pause the video for 10 minutes to have a go at those now, please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And that's the end of today's lesson, Year 9. Please now head over to Google Classroom and submit my exit ticket for today. Have a great afternoon and thanks very much for listening. Goodbye.